really been any sort of dominated Tempest or Ophelia plays, or even Parasite for that matter, and yet we're still seeing these bans. So I guess they're more scared of the thought of them being useful than actual actual results being made from these jungle players. But instead, I guess this does leave open like the Cthulhu and Magnus being first picked up here, and Dawn pick up the second pick Madman. They love this hero. Yet I mean, from the stats, it does say that he doesn't have the strongest of win percentage. And I'm just sort of surprised that they're sort of picking up this early on. I'd expect, there's other heroes to be picked up, and yet they always prioritize this Madman quite early on, actually.
I agree. And, I meant to bring that up last game, too, to an extent. I mean, obviously, it didn't result in a victory. I mean, overall, the strategy worked out. But it really seems like Madman is getting, as much as I love the hero, and I love the skill set and how he incorporates and everything, but his impact, his win percent, again, stats don't lie. It just doesn't seem like it's the best overall. So, not to say that they can't get a win here, but it seems like, teams like Dawn are kind of stuck on the hero that is Madman and, not wanting to go away from it despite it might, not having the most success from time to time. But they do it here. Again, they're happy to have Cthulhu fun, I'm sure, like I said. Magnus Engineer, of course, a very strong start for Shrek is Love, and apparently Magnus happens to be their best hero as far as win percentage goes. And in fact, Magnus is 2-0 the series, if I'm not mistaken, here, as both teams have now played the Magnus and obviously got the victory with him. So Magnus clearly overpowered. Okay. He needs a nerf. Waza. Hopefully he's tuning in today.
Don't nerf Magnus. He's so lovely.
He's one of those sacred heroes, man.
Bubbles,
like I talked
Bubbles
about,
as well.
Like a Bubbles.
When Bubbles got nerfed, I was appalled. I was like, what has gone on with Hon? And then I had a massive rant, but it wasn't the biggest of nerfs. Only increased cooldowns to Kelpher. But yeah, I know what you mean. There's a few heroes in Horn that they just can't be changed because they're so sacred that they haven't been nerfed or buffed since like years. It almost feels like. And Magnus and Magnus feels like that as well, like Bubbles. But in the end, first picked up here.
How about that? Swiftblade also coming out for Dawn. I mean, they got 0 support so far. They're going Swiftblade, Madman, Cthulhu fun here.
What's strange about that is that they're most likely going to have to run a dual lane mid with like either Swiftblade or Madman, because I think unless they run Cthulhu jungle, obviously it's going to be like Suicide Cthulhu, either Madman or Swiftblade bottom, and then the other one middle lane, which is kind of a little bit weird to say the least, because I mean a Cthulhu can be your main initiator, but first off, if he's going to be in the Suicide lane, he's not going to get the greatest farm, so the portal key is going to come late regardless. And the hero in general isn't the strongest of initiators compared to, say, the Magnus. I mean, we saw the last game how big of an impact Magnus had. Absolutely insane amount of eruption plays and a lava surge sort of clutch plays. But, I mean, Cthulhu doesn't have that sort of same impact. It's more of like a sort of frontline, somewhat of a tanky man, and try and, sort of disrupt the team fight with his Stream of Madness. And obviously, a good damage potential as well with his Obliterate. But in terms of relying on him for your main initiation, I'm not too certain, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely see where that's coming from. So it's going to be interesting to see how Dawn makes that work for them. Again, prioritizing the first pick, and understandably so. This is a hero that we see banned a lot going into this Han Tour Season 3, and for good reason. But will it work out for Dawn? At least that's their plan here. Ban's going to be finishing up here from Shrek is Love. We got Flux, Rhapsody, Bubbles, Empath, and Plague Rider so far coming out. So clearly Certez prioritizing a couple at least on the Suicide option, including the Plague Rider. Also throw a Flux in there. Don't want to deal with that Flux engine and Kraken combination for the matter. Hell, just that whole team. Yeah, it would be pretty deadly with Flux. So pretty understandable with that ban. Glacius banned out. They go support heavy on the side of bans for Shrek is Love, and that obviously makes sense. Torture is left open though, and they'll gladly take Torture, I'm sure.
I would actually really like to see a Doctor Repulse pick up here for Hellborn, because I mean they are very, very heavy in terms of melee cores. Like, I mean, all their cores are melee, assuming they're going to pick up another secondary support here for Dawn. And Doctor Repulse would be perfect to really sort of kite the Swiftblade, Madman, and Cthulhu. I mean, Madman not so much obviously, because the Stalk does give him very, very high movement speed. Particularly the Swiftblade. I mean, if you can get a farm Doctor Repulsor, he can like almost 1v3 all of those cores just with the kiting potential he has. And at the same time, I mean, Oh, they're going to pick up the Silhouette. Okay, Silhouette can work as well, actually. I mean, I was thinking either the Silhouette or Doctor Repulsor. I didn't think we was going to see Silhouette because we haven't really seen, or I haven't seen Ogre pick him up completely at all. But the hero can work sort of similar to a Doctor Repulsor because she's ranged, obviously, and the tree grapple is low cooldown, so they can kite the Swiftblade round. And it might even work better, actually, than the Doctor Repulsor because obviously the physical presence of the tree grapple stunning through Swiftblade's Blade Frenzy. So as long as we can, prioritize farm here on the Silhouette for Ogre, expect a good match, particularly coming out from Ogre, if they can get the farm on Silhouette, which would be needed.
Now, apparently this is the first time Silhouette's going to be played of all of Cycle 1 so far. Again, we did see it in the qualifiers, but Quincy, of course, he made a point that those stats weren't going to be recorded over to what matters here as, lesser teams and whatnot. But, so Silhouette has not been picked up in. Again, this is one of these heroes. What's that?
I said, wow, I was
know,
surprised. Yeah. I mean, I thought this was going to be a hero that was going to be first picked or first banned every single game. But I guess my viewpoint was a little bit biased, seeing as we have Marcus Moore, and that's all that always been picking up pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I watched some of the gold matches, and he's just been playing Silhouette. I mean, he had one game, he went 750 GPM or something, and then 11-0 or something. The last gold match he had, and he said, yeah, Silhouette's OP.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyway, going back to these diamond matches, I would expect all these Silhouettes to be played quite frequently. And a Lodestone? Is that going to be a secondary support Cthulhu then? Madman Swiftblade? I'm really confused.
Yeah. Again, the jungle Cthulhu fight?
Yeah, that's definitely possible, and I think that's what we're going to see here, because Iceland Go-Go is on the Cthulhu. But I mean, one thing is quite obvious to say, there's a lot of farm that has to go around here for Legion, and I don't know if they're going to have that potential, particularly if Hellborn pick up another support here. If they pick up another support here, I mean, they can easily crush this Legion lineup before it even gets started, just by sort of constricting the amount of farm they can get with the Engineer, Magnus, and Aluna. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Huh, yeah, just looking at that lineup, that's going to be fun to see what they ultimately do with that. Keeper of the Forest coming out here.
Okay. They decide to go a bit more of a late game potential, and I think they definitely can do that. They've got really, very, very strong team fight, and obviously they have that silhouette in terms of the late game presence as well. I mean, if it goes to the super late game, I think Legion will still have that because of the Madman Swiftblade, as well as the Cthulhu doing quite a lot of work actually with the Dream of Madness, as well as obviously the Lodestone, Shatterstorm, obviously increasing the amount of damage the other carries do. But in terms of, say, 30-40 minutes, I think with the amount of team fight that Hellborn have, they can definitely be threatening. But going back to what I was going to say, though, I mean, this Silhouette, I mean, I think Dr. Repulsor would have been a little bit better. I mean, there's 4 melee heroes here on the Legion side. They are going to be heavily kited, seeing as the only lockdown they have is the Torturous stun, which is obviously quite unreliable, because obviously not a point stun. The Lodestone stun that is quite unreliable, as well as the Cthulhu stun that is also unreliable. So, I mean, the plays have to be perfect in terms of landing these stuns if Legion are going to get their damage put out. And I think this is honestly going to be a little bit of an issue when it gets into the mid team fights. Honestly, if you compare it to Hellborn, I mean, they've got great initiation, they've got great setup stuns as well, like the Magnus, turned onto an engineer keg with the root coming out from Keeper, alongside with the the Kraken ultimate and the Tsunami charge. And for Hellborn, I really like this Hellborn draft, perfect coming out from Cluckmark. And I have to, I mean, if I'm going to call it straight away, I mean, Hellborn without a doubt have the draft advantage right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's across the board. Very good points being brought up right there about this Legion lineup, and again, it is one of those head scratches a little bit. It's one thing to see a different hero picked up and how that's going to work out, but it's this lineup. It's where are we ultimately going to see which hero? Again, maybe ideally it's going to be the Cthulhu fight in the jungle, but
it will be.
Yeah, it definitely will be. But again, how powerful is that going to be for them? So the Silhouette that is really as the big one that I'm going to be looking at. Like I said, we have yet to see it so far in Cycle 1. We did see it in the qualifiers that one match, but this hero got a lot of changes. She had those the big changes and even got buffed up with the attack range on top of it all. So she most certainly is a carry to reckon with here on the side of Shrek is Love. So yeah, their draft overall, a lot of team synergy, and they got that late game carry most certainly once again in Silhouette. But as far as the start is concerned, here we go. Game number 3. Again, the winner of this is actually going to be moving on to play Willowkeeper later today. Willowkeeper gave BMG a run for their money yesterday, of course, in the winter bracket semifinals, going a 3-game distance, but in the end, BMG did come out on top 2-1, and thus in the winner bracket finals. And one more thing on that, again, I know a lot of people, and understandably so, curious about BMG Sync. Once again, guys, that's not going to be played until next weekend. That'll be the first match on next Saturday as the winner bracket finals will be then. So again, with the 8 teams being in Diamond Division this time around for Han Tour, the schedule's slightly different as far as how it works instead of the 16 teams. And so that's, again, just an update there as far as what to expect. Look at this, though. Yellow Train playing the Kraken. He actually gets a ward of sight down in one of the camps here. Actually also gets some vision in the jungle. I'm seeing if we're going to see a Rev ward possibly purchased by the Legion side. They probably saw that placed. Actually, okay, Torture has one here. See if he maybe gets rid of that. Might not be the biggest deal in the world, but still. Want to definitely try to. Oh, places a ward of sight right there, actually, so maybe not. Just gonna let it be, I guess. But again, this goes back to the idea, though, of Cthulhu being in the jungle. He has potential. The Hokum allows him to, especially with the buff to it, the change to it with now the dot damage and everything. But I think it's safe to say, maybe not as strong as in the laning phase, but again, has jungle potential. What do you expect to see out of him?
I expect early gank potential, level 3, level 4. Otherwise, I don't expect him to do very fast jungle. I think Keeper's going to beat him in terms of sort of the rate in which he's gonna farm. However, I think Cthulhu definitely has the advantage in terms of ganking earlier before level 6, whereas Keeper obviously needs that level 6 before he can get active. So in terms of lanes he can gank, I think this Kraken is probably his best bet. If Kraken pushes up just a little bit too far, then I think he can easily capitalize on the Kraken. At the same time, Silhouette, he's playing mid, which I don't know if I really agree with this choice, honestly. But it is what it is, and he's playing mid, and I think actually if he can combine with the Lodestone, they have the potential to burst him down. Silhouette only 500 HP, with a good Rocket Drill and Head Smash, along with a good trample from Cthulhu, that Silhouette is going down without a doubt. So as long as Cthulhu does get active, I think he can be a lot more useful than the Cthulhu, than the Keeper of the Forest. He's looking like he's going to set up a gank already, level 2. We'll have to see.
Oh, look at Silhouette, really far push up. There we go. Rocket Drill hits, easy trample to land. The damage output, though, yeah, it's not going to be enough. Or maybe Hero Block?
They don't have Head Smash. What is this? What?
Oh, yeah, he went the plates, didn't he?
What?
Oh, no! That's got to be so frustrating. Now, mana is on treble. Yes, it goes off.
Yeah.
And the Bloodlust kill will be successful. Holy crap. You're right, though. No head smash on Lowstone. That's now, if he wasn't expecting a gank to happen, that's probably miscommunication right there. If he was expecting it, I'm sure he would have gotten it, but...
Either way, Arslan Gogo did exactly what he needed to do. Set up the gank on Silhouette. It was almost like he was hearing me, because I said, oh yeah, he needs to set up a gank mid or bottom, and then he starts moving towards mid.
Yeah.
But in the end, he does exactly what he needs to do, and as a result, not only does he have higher farm than Keeper of the Forest right now, he's obviously been a lot more useful in terms of his effectiveness in the jungle. And it looks like he's going to rotate into the enemy jungle already. Arslan Gogo, I love his style of play in the jungle. He never sort of sits back and farm. He's always looking for the ganks, and he's a really aggressive player, and I love to sort of see this. And he's already picked up a bottle, actually. He's going to put all of this haste in the top lane. It could even sort of see him gank mid already. Silhouette, only 340 HP. If she stays any far up, she doesn't even have log buzz. Middle lane, he's going in. Yeah,
he does have head smash now on low, so there we go. The Rocket Drill does connect. The trample to follow up the head smash already used. The auto attack's going to have to do it in. The haste turn, though, Cthulhu this time makes it easy to finish him off. So the active elephant is working out wonders here for Dawn and Silhouette more so. That's the most important thing I think of it all. They're locking down Silhouette.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I was really questioning why Silhouette was in the middle lane. She needs her farm. She's not like the old Silhouette. If she can get babysat completely, she can be absolutely dominating. We've sort of seen this in the qualifiers, and yet Ogre, I don't know if they have that much experience or practice with Silhouette, but you do not lane Silhouette in the middle lane. I think that's quite obvious, and this is why she needs the trees to really be useful in terms of her escape mechanism, and placing her in the middle lane. There's not a lot of trees around other than just complete water. Yeah. Obviously, she's not playing Riptide, so she really needs to be aware of what's happening. 2 deaths already, only 3 minutes in. GPM isn't too bad, seeing she's already got 2 deaths. 200 GPM, but still not exactly where she needs to be, and I wouldn't expect another gank coming out from Cthulhu anytime soon.
As you say that, Cthulhu has other plans. The bottle's allowing him to be extra active here, and in fact, the Rocket Drill is going to go off. Trample, can he get in range? Silhouette wants to make a kill happen. Trample, no, he's still not going to use it, though. They figure they just don't have enough for that time, and probably were right. So if anything, he's kind of helping out Lodestone a little bit, and we'll go back into the jungle. I mean, that's the other cool thing about it, too. With that hook'em of his, he's able to just instantly kill a creep, so it's not like he's missing out on a lot of farm here.
Yep.
He's still able to just go, get one quickly, then assist in a gank, and, you know, go back when the cooldown's up. So, and even bottles up a region there. He's controlled both of the runes so far on top of it all. I mean, Cthulhu easily the MVP.
Already, I mean, he's been involved in the most at top lane.
Yeah, Madman's in trouble. Can he actually get the stock off in 1 second? Will it even need it? There's a stock. Magma's done in 1 second as well. He's going to have to blindly do it. He lands it perfectly.
Oh my God.
That was a blind stun.
Yep, that was insane plays coming out from Demstrats. I mean, that was an incredible play. I was expecting him to stun straight, but stunned onto the diagonal way and gets the kill. Very, very well played. Boosts his farm up to nearly 400 GPM. He's on his way to his portal clear as soon as possible. Here comes middle lane.
There we go again. Get through the push. Now the triple missed, I think, and that's the difference maker. Did it hit?
Is, like, he didn't get the main body of the trample, but he hit him with the creeps.
Okay.
And that is the reason. It does less damage if you hit him with the creeps, but it still landed the stun. But as a result, obviously, Silhouette did survive with about 80 HP. Yeah,
that was very, very close. So, again, this time he happens to survive, but obviously it's still good to see Cthulhu being active, and it's really just keeping Silhouette on her toes, if anything. Now, with that said, Silhouette is one of these very kind of flash farming, can recover kind of heroes. So, you know, being down early on, yes, it hurts, but has that potential. But she's going to need to be careful once again. She has the tree grab. She's going to use it. The trample. No, it's going to miss. And Cthulhu now in trouble. That was, you know, he knew that was a possibility, but didn't know exactly where it would go. Bottom lane, Kraken, the swift slashes, easily doing Kraken. And I'll say this, too. I know we've been focusing a lot on the middle, but Torture's been doing an excellent job of boxing out Kraken down there. Middle lane, what is this? Madman wants his kill. Oh, he's going to need to really dive extra to get it, though, and yeah, it's probably not going to be worth it, so he'll just pull the creep wave, I guess, or at least kind of attempt to do so, and just run away. No, it goes back in! Oh, Silhouette! Oh, man, that's brutal.
But again, though, this is why you don't sort of see Silhouette in the middle lane. It's kind of like a soul stealer. Yeah, she does have the escape mechanism, but even that isn't, you know, the best guarantee. And as a result, I mean, Legion have shot her down very, very well. 3 kills in 6 minutes. And as a result, I mean, Silhouette below 200 GPM. This is looking so bad. Lodestone's middle lane, he's going in again.
Are we really? Oh my gosh, Silhouette just poured it in. No, the Shatterstorm misses though. And now Lodestone needs to be careful, actually. He's exposed, but he's going to be fine. But yeah, that was that just would have been extra brutal for Silhouette there. She's already died 3 times. She's had Madman here, Cthulhu here several times. She's barely lived all of it, but just hasn't. So it's been a frustrating game. Now, with all that said, she's still managing level 6, but obviously her GPM has kind of fallen as a result of it all.
I mean, the only problem though is that Silhouette isn't one of those heroes that all she needs is levels. I mean, she needs farm and she needs a lot of it. And at the moment, she's had absolutely none of it because of this, you know, great play, honestly, coming down to Dawn. However, I mean, her team is pushing top, so she's going to get some kind of farm from the tier 1 top. So good rotation coming out from Keeper and an easy rotation. Might even try and push on, but expect maybe the rotation coming out from Cthulhu and even Lodestone, or even Swiftblade. Actually, he does have a TP with him, and I'd like to see Dawn try and contest this top tower.
Oh, they definitely are setting up. Madman's kind of hitting off to the side. You see Torture just starting off with the stun. No TPs just yet, though. Coming in for the Legion team. We do have Cthulhu heading over, however. Not the most life in mana. He's regenerating a little bit,
dust.
though. In the meantime, yeah, dust is important. The Steam Bath, Nature's Veil, so I don't know if they have any dust on them currently. It doesn't look like it, but they won't need it here at least, yeah, because obviously no fight's going to be happening. As the Hellborn team kind of falls back. Maybe not, actually. No, they are going back in. You're right. They definitely need the dust. And now Madman's in trouble. Magma stuns in. There's the Eruption Channel. The Keg stun easily lands. And Madman most likely going to fall. Maybe. No, Burrow comes out. It destroys just enough. But no, Madman does fall with the root. However, they get the kill to Magnus. And now the response is here. Swiftblade even joining the party with the auto attack. Shatterstorm goes off. Easy kill on Engineer. Keeper of the Forest does somehow manage to get away, though.
Dust, but in the end, still a good trade that they traded Suicide Madman for a Magnus who was just about to pick up his portal key. He still has the gold for it now, but I mean, still for a 2-for-1 trade, it is definitely worth it. But I mean, again, like if they had the dust, that would have been a 3-for-1. But in the end, actually, they're going in top lane again.
Are they really? Yeah, they are. Keeper of the Forest. Lodestone has another face smash in 3 seconds, or head smash even, but nope. There we go. Once again, Nature's Veil and going to be fine. in the end. So we'll see if they kind of learn the lesson there. Yeah, dust on Torturer, so at least they have it now. I'm going to be able to use it for future.
Magnus has picked up a portal key actually, and I'd like to see him use it. Even middle lane, he has rotated middle lane, and Engineer's already here, expecting the rotation to come. And I think they could drop this Cthulhu if the Engineer lands a stun.
There's a stun on his Silhouette. He's being locked down completely. Magnus still comes in with a counter shot. Cthulhu is dropping himself, and he will go down. Spin from Swiftblade. Just got there too late, and yeah, Silhouette easily surviving. The tree grapple doing work.
Oh,
and
Kraken's
keeps
here
him
as well.
alive as Kraken trying to cut off. He is level 6, but doesn't find the angle. However, they're going to cut off Lodestone. Will they have the damage to take him out? He does not have a Shadow Storm. He has a Rocket Drill, though, and he's going to be able to use that to, well, port away with it. Kraken kind of charged in right there. He's seen if he can maybe cut him off, but he went
Legion,
a different angle.
Legion need to delay as quick as possible, because I mean, this game is getting chaotic already, and this is really benefiting Hellborn. They've got all the items they need. They've got the portal key on Magnus. I mean, they've got the Ring of Sorcery on Keeper. Legion need to slow this game down, start split pushing. They need that. Madman doesn't even have his Steam Boots yet, and Swiftblade is really, really far away from his Abyssal Skull. Although they are ahead in terms of golden XP, I can already see that the pub train's starting to form here for Ogre, and Legion do not want to take this pub train. Team fight, because I mean they need farm. I mean, like we said before in the draft, they need a lot of farm to sort of share it around, and 10 minutes in they just cannot physically get enough farm to where they need to be to sort of take these team fights. The team fight in Hellborn is just too strong at the moment before they get the Shrunken Heads, and obviously they're so far away in getting their Shrunken Heads. So delay is sort of the aim of the game here for Legion, whereas Hellborn maybe get an Astrolabe on Keeper and try and force the advantage here for the Hellborn, and try and get Silhouette back into the game because of that farm. And I mean, she's doing quite well considering how bad of a start she had in the middle lane. 270 GPM, recovering quite well after the 3 ganks. And this goes back to obviously the tower kills coming out from Hellborn, and just sort of promoting and getting that extra little bit of space because of this sort of team fight oriented team.
Yeah, that's what's kind of bringing up. Oh, Magnus, what's this? He actually erupted on a Swiftblade. It's not enough damage, though, and actually Swiftblade will just spin out and be fine. I got the last second. Magnus actually stunning in, trying to kill Swiftblade as he was running over, but obviously not going to happen in the end. But again, I brought that up earlier with the Silhouette, how she has that potential, and exactly, she's kind of showing that here. How she can most certainly recover. Now it's only 260, so again, not the most threatening, but buying the time forward to get back in it, and eventually she can once again be that late game carry. So. Yes, a slight advantage for Dom, but obviously Shrek is loved, still has a very good shot themselves. And here comes the group up middle lane, though, from Don.
This is so, I don't know, I don't think they should do this. I mean, Magnus doesn't have an eruption, so that could be the key to why they want to try and take this tier 1. And actually, if they can get this tower, this could be so big. Because they need this map control, because they want to delay as much as possible. But it looks like Hellborn are setting up to try and defend.
Well, I mean, they still haven't released the Kraken. Magnus still has a portal key stun, obviously, and that in itself is very powerful. So I still think you could kind of question this if you are Dawn. And here we go. Magnus stuns in. The release the Kraken not coming out just yet. Troy's going to be a scene. Did not release the Kraken. I'm shocked by that. In the background, though, they get the kill on Magnus. The Root comes out from Cure the Force. He's going to fall, though. Madman joining the party rack here. Silhouette's like, I got to get the hell on out. And down goes Engineer. Yeah, I mean, Kraken had a beautiful chance, but he didn't do it.
I mean, but I guess that goes back to Legion realizing, without the Magnus eruption, they've got nothing to fear, and just great team player and great fighting. And this just goes back to honestly great leadership coming from Certes. I mean, he recognizes the weaknesses of every little intricacy coming from Hellborn, and as a result knew he could get the tier 1 tower, and as a result got more than the tier 1 tower, got 4 kills off of it, and as a result 6,000 experience, 5,000 gold lead, and this is exactly where Legion want to be. They want to be ahead, just give them a little bit of a buffer in terms of sort of team fights, to sort of recover and farm and get as much farm as they can, which they desperately need. They probably need the portal key on Lodestone, the Shrunken Head Madman, maybe the Shrunken Head Swiftblade as well, if he decides to go that. And then they start having the items they need to really take these team fights and be in a very, very good position to sort of take the series.
Lodestone kind of scaring Kraken there a little bit. He uses a Tsunami Charge, seeing him come in, but I think Lodestone's kind of just poking in simply to see what was up, and just going to continue to farm it out. You can see the bottom lane. Engineer and Magnus trying to be a little sneaky, but they're not going to be sneaky enough. The Ward of Sight will definitely spot them as the Legion team is actually coming for the kill on the Kraken. He will charge. Here goes Magnus. So they see him at the last second, but it was a little bit too late. Now the spin from Swiftblade will mitigate plenty of damage, and actually Magnus is going to end up falling. So that spin from Swiftblade was huge right there. In the end, yeah, they had the information, and they made it work. Did the Legion team. Energy field used, but nothing happening with it.
And yeah, and Hellborn are kind of like disregarding their sort of strength here. They've got a lot of strong team fight, and yet they're sort of taking these sort of small engagements that are really sort of paying off for Legion. As much as possible, Legion want to sort of have split fights and, you know, as much farm as possible actually middle lane.
Yeah, they get the trample on a Keeper. Beautiful stuff by Cthulhu Fawn. The dust comes out and no chance for Keeper to get away. With that said, they've really turned it on here, has Dawn. This is one of the biggest leads we've seen this whole series from a team, especially this early on in the game. 12-4 Heroic lead, 8,400 gold lead, 8,300 experience lead. And the Swiftblade's off to the great start that you like to see him at. The Abyssal Skull, a Firebrand to follow. And again, his overall teamfight presence looking really strong too. So even a Shrunken Head going to be in the early works here for Madman. He's going to have that sooner than later. So Silhouette has a sustainer finish with that said. So again, she's doing her best to kind of recover here. She's up to about 320 gold per minute. And going to harass a little bit up here at the top lane. Pushing her pretty far, though. Needs to be careful once again, but will fall back before any gank happens. So there still is that hope at least. What's going on mid? Oh, okay, yeah, Kraken's going to be fine. He falls back before, but
yeah, I mean, like going back to what happened though, is that Legion are just finding these perfect engagements, honestly, like where it's like 2v3, you know, 3v2, little things like this, and this is perfect for Legion because, I mean, Hellborn, their advantage and their strength honestly comes as when they're fighting as 5. They've got a lot of AoE synergy and a lot of, you know, AoE team fight. And Legion want to sort of obviously dodge that as much as possible. So taking these small engagements is really favourable for Legion because if Hellborn do use these AoE ultimates, actually bottom lane.
Yeah, the timing right there was a little bit off. I mean, if Lowstone maybe had a portal key, that could have worked out pretty well, but the timing, the trample was just a little too early there for Cthulhu Fawn, and by the time Lowstone poured it in, Magmus had time to stun out himself. And portal key away as we saw. So good attempt, but in the end, the execution not 100% there for the game.
But yeah, like going back, like they have great team fight, but they really need to utilise this sort of potential. The only problem, or the thing that really sort of, you know, threw a spanner in the works with this Silhouette having such a bad time in middle lane. If she has a Nullstone by now, they can really take use of their team fight potential. You know, Magmus nearly level 11, he's got the portal key, and Keeper of the Forest, you know, closing in on his Astrolabe. Like if they had the Silhouette where she needs to be and where she should be, arguably, then it would be perfect. Actually, bottom lane.
Yeah. God, that's ridiculous. The head smash with it when he gets the Shadow Storm especially off on somebody, it is just absurd damage. And they kind of showed that off right there. So again, Lowstone, it's been a long time since we really see this hero consistently, and they kind of forget about that, but his burst damage is absurd, as once again an example right there. And especially when he gets that portal key, as he has now. He's level 11 on top of that. It's a level 2 Shadow Storm being picked up here for him. So yeah, he is a big target threat. Now, Astrolabe just finished on Keeper of the Forest right there. On top of the Ring of Sorcery, it says. So you can talk about that earlier and how perhaps that's going to give them some potential now. But
yeah, definitely. But it's just this Silhouette, honestly, like I think Dawn have played this so well, sort of recognizing, you know, how can they disrupt the team strategy coming out from Ogre? What do they need to do to really throw a spanner in Ogre's works here? And it was the Silhouette, because if Silhouette had, I mean, if she didn't have a 3 early death, she would be around 400, maybe 450, even 500 GPM right now. However, obviously, that's top lane, more action going on again.
Yeah, Keeper doesn't stand a chance. He throws out the root, but that's just going to delay the inevitable right here. As Poker Wine playing the Madman just finishes him off using the stock. So again, we mentioned a little bit of Caster's Curse, I guess. He gets the Astrolabe, starts to push top a little bit, but the Legion team well on top of that. And they pick up the easy kill in the process. So
bottom lane.
What's going on down here? Chase on to Lodestone. We talked about his burst potential, but good turnaround. It looks like he might have actually went on Silhouette initially, but the team support came in time, so that's obviously what the Hellborn team could need right now.
Yeah, and Legion needs to group up low. We talked about how, you know, their team fight is strong, and they just keep getting picked off. I mean, I guess it goes back to, you know, the great play coming from Dawn, but they really need to sort of group up. But at the same time, they're so far behind now in terms of golden experience. If they do group up, Legion are, you know, more than ready to sort of take a team fight, and it looks like a team fight is going to be brewing here bottom lane.
Swiftblade chasing in, has an invis, can't stand the cut through the front trample. Nice portal key though from Magmus. I think that was one of those just happened to be pure coincidence, frankly, but still, it looked pretty. Maybe he didn't react, and if he did, all the credit to him. But yeah, he does get away and is going to survive for the time being. Again, Silhouette, very close to a Nullstone now. Again, not the high-tier impactful item necessarily, but Nullstone nonetheless will continue to enhance the farm even. And of course, give him the effect. Madman, he does have a Shrunken Head now, jeez.
Yeah, that's just, I really do like the item before. I mean, we talked about how some of the teams, I don't think, bought a Shrunken Head on the first time. I think it was Tree actually when they were facing Sync. Oh no, it was BMG actually, wasn't it? And how I think if they bought Shrunken Head first item, they would have most likely took that game against BMG. But and so I do like this item pickup. I mean, there's nothing that really Hellborn can do against this Shrunken Head Madman, other than say the route after the popping of the Shrunken Head from Madman and maybe the silhouette in terms of physical presence and the tree grapple. But in the end, it's just great item pickup coming out from Pokemon of One, ensuring really that the team fight here for Legion, even though it should be in favour of Hellborn. But going back to what Hellborn really need to do to try and get back into this game, I think that there's no way they can really take a team fight, because although they have the stronger team fight in terms of the hero composition, they are behind in terms of 10,000 gold and 10,000 experience. And if they try and group up, I mean, Legion are just going to take the team fight because they know they can win it. They're 14-5 in terms of hero kills. So in terms of that, I think they should wait, try and get the Nullstone and Silhouette, and start ganking with this Magmus and Silhouette, because there's no way they can get back into this game or take team fights when they're that far behind in terms of golden experience. Maybe get the Portal Key and Kraken, and even maybe the Portal Key on Keep of the Forest, perhaps, and then try and find perfect initiation if it calls for it. But until then, try and make more space for this Silhouette in terms of ganking, and obviously stacking and things like that. Because in terms of just going as 5 and going as in a team fight, I don't think it's going to be their best decision. They could even try maybe a Congo if they can try and sneak it. There's only one ward here coming out from Legion, and it doesn't actually give sight into the Congo pit. So if they're sneaky enough, they might be able to take it without Legion's notice. But at the same time, it's a risk. But then at the same time, if they're so far behind, you need risk to be taken if you want to get back into this game. So
yeah, exactly. I think that's what it comes down to. You're down 10,000 golden experience, taking a risk, probably warrant a possibility there. But we'll see what their decision making is here. Kraken obviously DC'd currently, so thus why we are in the pause. Again, game number 3 here. The first of 2 series today, as always, here, as far as our weekend coverage goes for Han Tour Cycle number 1. And, of course, throughout the season. Again, our following matchup is actually, I'll pull the brackets for you one more time, guys. You got Reason Gaming versus Rexars is going to be set to happening as the following losers bracket matchup. And then, of course, Willowkeeper will play the winner of this matchup. So we'll see, depending on the time and everything, which series we do jump into. But one more time, Bad Monkey Gaming versus Sync. Again, they're playing next weekend in the winner bracket finals next Saturday specifically. So for those that once again are curious about,
I'm not going to be here. It sucks.
I know. I just got to keep reminding you, and you're like, I'm not
I know,
here.
man.
Oh, well.
I would have loved to have cast that. I'm still going to be watching it, but I just won't be able to cast it because obviously I'll be in a different country and my internet will probably be terrible. But unfortunately, I will not be able to cast it. But in the end, it'd be a great series without a doubt. But talking of series, though, we're still in this final series here. Game 3, loser drops down to gold actually, so there's a lot on the line. And I mean, I think Legion are obviously definitely in front just in terms of golden experience, but Hellborn still have the potential to get back in it. That's why they're not conceding just yet. Obviously, there's a lot on the line as well, so they want to give it their best shot. And they still have signs of hope. Obviously, we talked about the Silhouette, starting to get good farm, and this hero can carry very, very well into the late game. She's just picked up the Nullstone actually, and Kraken's closing in on his Portal Key. If they can get some nice initiations, even some gank potential here with maybe the Magmus, Kraken, or Silhouette, maybe they can get back into this game. I mean, the only Shrunken Head here on Madman is Madman, obviously, and that is a good thing, because when the Shrunken Head's being picked up by Swiftblade, even by Lodestone, that's where it gets really actually awkward here for Hellborn. Actually, Swiftblade coming in the middle lane, looking like they're going to push here middle lane. Yeah,
they was trying to set up a kill in the background, perhaps on Engineer catching him, but Cluckmuck there, just a little too quick and gets out of range. I love seeing Silhouette, though, once again, mainly for the reason of the illusion and how he works with it. It's ridiculous. Has the ability to be almost in 2 spots at once. Pushes a lane and then ports back to the illusion and goes and farms elsewhere. It helps to be very safe for, of course, those counter pushes. And again, nearly 400 gold per minute interruption going in there for Magmus. They catch Cthulhu-Font. Is it going to be enough damage? Charge comes out. No, he gets pull away. And the Legion team comes to clean up. Silhouette was not here for the very beginning, but a big release of Kraken on top of the end of the field. That could be the difference maker that they're hoping for. Silhouette is now here. The damage output is starting. However, she gets feared actually by Cthulhu-Font's aura right there. She puts in some damage to keep her. And now she needs to start running away because the strength is too strong. So, yeah, I think the biggest, obviously, no-no there for Shrek was that Silhouette wasn't there from the beginning.
Yeah, and I mean, even if she was there, I don't know if they could even take that team fight. I mean, they have 10,000 gold behind. Yes, okay, they do have the superior team fight in terms of hero composition, but at the same time, there's not much you can deny about 12, 10 or 10, 11,000 gold lead only 20 minutes in. I mean, it's such a big lead that the Legion are having. Especially now, Stricken is being picked up by Madman, closing in maybe for the Swift Lane if he just decides to go for that. Which I think he should at least go for maybe the Geometer's Bane, because I mean he needs at least one way to get out of Keeper for him to be useful.
Yeah, so the decision making definitely once again kind of coming into play right there from Shrek's Love that time around, and Don just happy with it. Their lead even grows after that. Now nearly a 12,000 gold lead and nearly a 13,000 experience lead. On top of it all, Brutalizer in the works here for Madman, the second Mighty Blade. Of course, finishing that up. Cthulhu had that portal key pick up. Now he's got a helmet of the Black Legion. He is going to be finishing up right here as well, so hoping to tank up a little bit extra as he is being that initiator, especially kind of jumping in the midst of things. Top lane, Keeper? Okay, yeah, just by himself, just really to harass a little bit. Kind of push Madman out of the lane as he does right there. So once again, back to Shrek's Love, trying to buy more and more time for Silhouette, who, as I just talked about, really abusing that illusion aspect, and especially with the buffs that happen to that illusion, the damage that it deals and everything, and how he, of course, the typical, you could just port back to it and whatnot. It makes you very safe and farming multiple spots at once. So he really is continuing to do a solid job. Again, 411 gold. This is a Silhouette that was 0-3 to begin this game, locked down completely, and no big deal.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, like, going back to sort of, honestly, the actually middle lane of Ancients.
Oh, yeah, the Ancients, actually, they thought they were still there, but Silhouette was not. He is able to make initially the getaway, but he's still going to be caught out right here. He does not have an illusion of port to, and down goes Silhouette. So the start wasn't the prettiest, but the finish, they got the job done in the end.
They're going to try and take Congo now as well, actually, and it makes sense. Silhouette, I mean, she's got the portal key if she wants it, but at the same time, giving up this Congo isn't going to be an easy fight to make in the next team fight. So it'll have to depend whether Hellborn want to make Silhouette use that buyback or keep it and go for the portal key. But it looks like they're actually going to sort of give up Congo most likely. And I mean, giving up Congo to like a late game team this early on is very, very bad news here for Ogre.
Yeah. You see Congo is going to end up falling. Token of Life going to be given to Swiftblade, of course. So what was already a difficult time just got extra worse indeed for Shrek's Love. So you see right here, Madman pushes the top lane. Oh, nice job by keeping the force, though, using the minions to kill the tower in the end. Madman doing his best, but it is difficult when all those minions on top of the neutral creeps, of course, are there. Or more so the Hellborn push creeps are there to make the job difficult and thus result in the tower kill for them. Portal key picked up on Silhouette now, so that gives her now some positioning chances here.
Okay, with this portal key, though, I'd really like to see her use it because, I mean, look, they're 11,000 gold behind. I mean, it's going to be very, very hard to get back into this game, but the one way they can do it is with a few pickoffs here and there, and it's definitely possible. If she can get like 3 pickoffs, say with a Magnus, with a Kraken, I mean, it's definitely not, it's definitely going to be hard, but it's definitely not impossible at the same time. I think that's the best choice that they need to make. Here comes Silhouette.
He's trying, but yeah, okay, he is going to port out though before. Obviously, again, another this benefit of Silhouette. She can take risks like that, and doesn't work.
And I like the idea because I mean I think Count realizes that the only way they're going to get back in this game is if they can get a pickoffs here and there because they're not winning team fights. So there obviously needs to be another avenue of how to get back into this game. And so I'd like to see sort of Kraken and Magnus sort of go with her as well because just sitting back and farming is not going to sort of change the deficit that is 11,000 gold and 14,000 experience. So I'd like to see some active play come out from Shrek.
Yeah. Jeez, the double damage Silhouette just knocks down that tower very, very quickly right there. And now going to continue to push in the bottom lane here. So, Legion team going to force Shrek's Love to make a crucial decision here. Magnus off to the side. He is in position for an eruption. Going to keep an eye on when he starts channeling that right there. And there we go. Channel the eruption. Here's a good chance. He doesn't only get Swiftblade initially. They're going to get the token of life quickly used, but they used a hell of a lot to do so. Swiftblade comes right back up. He has those slashes, but the root comes out. Down goes Kraken, though. Swift slashes starting to bounce around. The spin comes out as well. Magnus ends up falling. He hasn't even used those slashes. Actually, he still has it. The auto attack damage is to apply. There's a Swift slash. It takes out Engineer in the background. Silhouette does remain alive throughout all this, but Sarah just picks up the hat trick, and the Tsunami charge misses right there. as he went all in for it. Madman, however, is going to be picked off in the end. They get the tower kill, though, and the rest of them will fall back. So, I mean, good fight from Shrek is Love. They did use a couple of buybacks, though, on Magnus and Kraken.
They did keep the racks, though, so, I mean, there's still some signs of hope here. For Shrek is Love, but they really need to try and get these pickoffs. If they can get these pickoffs, not only will it lower the golden experience deficit, but also it will give them more time to try and make Silhouette an actual threat here in these team fights, because she's picked up the Nullstone and the Portal Key, not really the scariest in terms of carry potential items, and she needs just that extra little bit of time to make a difference here. So they need to sort of focus on farming they need to focus on ganking instead of farming.
Yeah. 27 minutes in, again, the lead's still pretty damn good for Dawn right there, and are definitely even growing. So yeah, sure, they hold off the melee racks, but Dawn's still feeling very good about the overall situation. Brutalizer now on Swiftblade as well. Obviously, they already had that on Madman, so a lot of lockdown on this Legion side is going to be coming out. I mean, again, that was kind of a little bit of a critique with the lineup in terms of their draft and how it went, the overall the stun potential, not the most guaranteed stuns across the board, more of like you kind of hope that they landed kind of stuns, but the brutalizers again help with that lockdown even more so, and that's good news. Middle lane, Keeper of the Force once again gonna get caught, and he will fall here in the middle, so just zero reaction time had by Shrek is Love, and thus the easy kill happens. Kraken, he's in a bad spot. He is spotted by the Warder's side. He can't portal key because the barrel roll hits. He can portal key at the last second, though, and he will ultimately get away. So that was very close for him, but at least he stays alive.
Back, though.
That's true. Keeper no buyback, 34 seconds.
And I mean, all these pickups of it, I've been talking about pickups for the last couple of minutes, and it's Legion who are actually the ones implementing these sort of pickups from the gangs. So Magnus going in with Eruption.
Magnus, but you see right there, the Shrunken Head, the spin from Swiftblade, they mitigate basically all of it right there. And the Magnus Eruption pretty much nullified. Losa comes in with the Shatter Storm, doesn't really hit anyone either. But the Legion team is starting to overwhelm them now. Mammoth in the back are just sitting on Silhouette, pounding in auto attacks. Cthulhu also gets the trample off. Torture's like, never mind, I don't want to stun. Melee Rax is definitely going to fall right here, though. Magnus stuns back in, gets 3 men right here. He's going to try to get the follow-up. Out comes the root action for Kid the Force. Just resurrect here. May be a chance to actually charge from Kraken, but a back charge from Cthulhu right there as he tramples over them and gets away. But the chase is now on, actually, for the Hellborn team. They're going to chase them back. Torture's going to be picked off. If they get Swiftblade especially, this is ultimately a pretty solid hold in the end. And I believe they made Magnus with the stun. 1 second. Yo, the spin at the last second. He turns around a kill on a Kraken, and finally will get killed. So, I mean, they saved the racks. They do get kills here at the end. Now, Magnus did use his final buyback to do it. And again, the big picture, Dawn, yes, is still very fine with that whole situation. But at least Shrek is Love is staying alive, and that's ultimately a good thing. Yeah. For their comeback chance. That's all you could ask for.
And even though they are 15,000 gold behind and like 15,000 experience behind, like you can still see the potential and the power of the amount of team fight. Actually, middle lane, Magnus just about pulled his away. But you can sort of see the actual synergy and the great power actually of this Hellborn lineup with all the the team synergy they have, like with the Magnus Eruption, the root from Keeper, and the release the Kraken. And it does a lot of damage and a lot of potential. It's just being behind by 15,000 is just too much in bottom lane.
Yeah, Cthulhu Font's getting caught out here in the jungle. Silhouette's auto attack damage is going to prove to be too much. She is hanging around. I believe she has an illusion to still port to. Yeah, she does if need be. See, Madman's going to kind of open right here and a quick port right away.
Yeah, but I mean, this is exactly what Hellborn need to do to get back in this game, and it's good to see that they're sort of slowly recognising that. I mean, it's one pick-off on Cthulhu, not the biggest deal in terms of the big picture, but at least they're slowly understanding what they need to do. I mean, and it all starts obviously the first pick-off. With a couple more like that, I mean, they can definitely be back in this game. They still got all their racks up as well. So middle lane.
Lodestone's like, he's probably laughing right now. Beat it out a little bit right there, including a sign. Not the biggest deal I can, but just simply pushing up with the illusion, seeing what he could get, and obviously got a little bit right there. Kind of interesting build on Lodestone, by the way. He has a Beast Heart as well as a Broadsword.
It's like
gonna go in 2 places. Yeah, he's like, I crafted my own item. Just wait and see.
Brings out some like 600 damage item.
Yeah. Barbed armor, though, is very powerful on Lowstone because of the Shadow Storm, so I'm sure that's what we'll end up seeing in the end. But Soul's Bulwark on Cthulhu Font, Shrunken Head very possibly going to be finished up here by Swiftblade in the near future, and especially once they have that, that might be the key item of, okay, we can actually now break through what they're waiting for. Silhouette, though. Geometer's Bane is getting close. It has picked up, that is true. 400 to 500 GPM carries, 41.3% win percentage at that rate.
I mean, Jumper's Bane is a good item. Like, don't get me wrong, for a carry hero, but I would have really liked to have seen like the Shield Breaker or the Savage Mace, because that offers the burst potential, what they need for the getting the pickoffs. Jumper's Bane is fine and all, but I think if she had the Shield Breaker, that would have been a lot more useful in terms of getting the pickoffs than the Jumper's Bane, and obviously it's the pickoffs what they need to try and get back into this game.
Madman falls back before that pickoff chance happens at the top lane, not giving them a chance indeed. Middle lane, there's a little bit right here. Actually, Silhouette ports in, but she actually did port out. Oh! What?
She's got stunned from Torturer and then stunned from Lodestone, and just good lockdown, honestly, coming from Legion.
I thought I heard her port. God, I hate the hero for that reason, man. As much as fun as seeing this hero again, that's the reason why I do hate it, because it's a cast shield. I thought she ported. I thought I heard the sound, but no, you're right. And obviously the text explains that. She indeed got locked down and could not port out.
She does have a buyback, though. She does have a buyback.
God, that's gonna be so brutal. I mean, she has it. She will have to use it, unless, I mean, they could just give it this minute. It's so far. Okay, they're gonna go for it. Magnus comes in with the eruption. Here we go once again. Silhouette with the buyback. Gonna try to join the party. Release Kraken, locking on Madman. Madman is gonna fall in. It looks like he does. Kraken goes down in response. Silhouette though still one alive. Rue comes out for keeping the force with the energy field down. Lowstone on the outskirts. He's already Shadow Storm, but Swiftblade's still running around, doing plenty of damage. Magnus stuns back in. Again, he doesn't have buybacks, so he's doing his best not to die right here. Silhouette does get locked down though, and Silhouette does fall. Down goes Magnus, and that may have just done it right there. Dawn's gonna break through the hold of Shreka's Love, and it looks like they're, well, maybe not a concede just yet by any means, but they are definitely well on their way to taking a Game 3 and a series victory here with that push.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I can understand what Silhouette was trying to do, obviously, in the middle lane, and she needed to go for these pickoffs, but I mean, she's got to assume there's going to be more than one person than just the Cthulhu, and at the same time, she's going to try and get up a Cthulhu. I mean, could she even get the pickoff solo on a Cthulhu? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe on the Torturer, even on like maybe the Madman, but a Cthulhu is such a tanky hero, not the easiest of persons to go for in the end. But as a result, I mean, she did use her. Well, she got one more buyback left, but Shrunken Head has been picked up by Swiftblade, and I think this might be the final push here coming very, very shortly.
Swiftblade going to clean up some Ancients here, but yeah, the Shrunken Head going to be delivered, as you pointed out. And as soon as he gets that, that's a very, very comfortable item to have for the time being. So yeah, Silhouette using that buyback, dying again. Again, it kind of had to be done. I was going to argue there. I mean, maybe they could have let it, but they would have probably just gone middle anyways and continued to push. So pretty much had to buy back, I guess, more thinking about it. But yeah, the really sets are behind, and as you're even getting at, the Geometer's Bane, sure, a good item, but is that the comeback item that they need? Not really in the end, most likely. So Torture is 32-0. What? Are you serious?
There's been carry Torturers, though, that surely have had high. Does he mean just support Torturers?
32-0 at 200. That is ridiculous if that's the case.
He's just making up these stats.
You're doing it again, Quincy.
I should stop calling him out.
That's ridiculous.
I should stop calling him out on these stats, because otherwise we should call him out on every single stat, and he'd be like, oh, wait a minute, he's probably making them up.
You lie.
There we go.
80% win rate of 40 games.
That's probably lies as well, probably. No, Quincy.
Probably. Okay, I mean, still though, that's fairly impressive, honestly. Like the fact that Torture has that much of an impact for a team. I mean, Torture, I think, is the most picked hero according to the stat, at least since he's been tracking the stats out of any hero. Yeah, so he's seen a lot of action. So Anyways, middle lane push coming in right here. Again, this should be the final hold attempt. In fact, Kraken's not going to get a chance. Eruption does go in on 3 heroes. Kraken, a little late to the party. Finally going to join the dropping. He has that token, though. Root comes out. He's going to come back up. I'm sure Swift Slashes will be used to. Yeah, there we go. It goes off right there. Keeper of the Forest did not stand a chance. Silhouette is still alive. She's sitting in the background, though. Not feeling the most ballsy right here. The tower barely stays alive. Okay, yeah, it does die. Did she buy back? No, that was...
Keeper.
Oh, Kraken, but Keeper? Oh, Keeper buy back, okay. There you go. So Keeper buys back, but will that matter? Probably not. He doesn't even have a root. Magnus goes down. Yeah, that's one of those buybacks where it's like, yeah, I already used my big ultimate cooldown, so sure I'm kind of a threat, but not really. They're going to try to hold once again, but they know the end is near, and so they're going to give it their A+ effort, but unfortunately, the results are not going to speak for it. So it looks like Dawn is well on their way to taking Game 3. And again, securing, moving on to the next round to face Willowkeeper, actually. And so that should definitely be a fun one there. But Shrek is love. That does mean, again, it's not 100% over yet, but a loss here would mean, unfortunately, they will be dropped down to gold for the next cycle. Again, they could definitely earn a spot, and then cycle 3 for that matter, but would not be surprised. But this loss will result in that. At the same time, though, they're going to get a fair amount of the prize pool, thanks to the Ursa Core initiative. But Dawn definitely deserving of the victory here. In the end, it's safe to say. The lockdown on Silhouette initially, I mean, yes, decision-making from Shrek is love definitely played a key in that, but Jungle Cthulhu too. I mean, that was the first time, again, apparently according to the stats so recently, that we have seen a Jungle Cthulhu. He's been lane when he's been picked up, apparently, so.
Very, very strong indeed. And I think it just goes back to him being very, very active. Obviously, the 3 initial kills on Silhouette. And although, I mean, Silhouette hasn't done too badly, I mean, those initial 3 deaths is obviously going to impact him quite a bit. And although, 420 them isn't too bad, I mean, she could have skyrocketed to 500, even maybe 600. And it could have been a total different game if those initial ganks didn't happen. So I think my MVP already goes to Iceland Gogo on that Cthulhu. Played it absolutely perfect, so aggressive. And I think obviously just helped his team, carry into the late game, and as a result, take Game 3.
Yeah. So again, it's not over just yet. So probably shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves, but
I don't know, man. Like I said this before, but I mean, there's no buybacks left on Ogre. They've lost 2 racks. Like they've had their chances to sort of get back in the game, but now it's just like more than over. I try to be optimistic, but at this sort of stage of the game, there's no point staying up. Like it's just a little bit embarrassing kind of for Ogre, in my opinion, just to sort of stay on when they're this.
Yeah, I get it. That's always that logic. If they had another round, maybe sure, you could argue, but this is their final game, so whatever. Just play it out. Hope for the best. See what can happen. But Dawn is most certainly gonna take advantage of this overtime phase and stab at a little bit perhaps, but kind of pushing top. Not really though. Keeper the Force gonna try to chase them back. He does have a root, but he cannot catch them. And so I mean, that was a solid chance. They were outnumbering them in that situation, but they were not able to get any catches right there onto Dawn. And then Dawn ultimately falls back, and we'll just continue to farm because from their aspect, hey, we don't want to completely throw it at you guys. If you guys want to hang on to this game, we'll just gladly continue to farm and get even further ahead to result in the ultimate victory. So. Let me double check actually. I wonder if the other series has even already started.
I think BMG Reason is about
not BMG.
Reason Rexos.
Okay.
Reason Rexos, sorry. Don't BMG.
Don't say BMG, man.
Don't say that.
People will be like, now they expect BMG and they're not going to get that. So,
Reason
Rexars. I don't see them in the game. They're probably in the lobby, the initial lobby.
Yeah,
not a game yet.
It's Snowy or Snoopy. They're in the lobby.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's the one we will plan to jump into. Obviously as long as, even if it just starts. But yeah, so that should line up pretty well right here. So again, just a matter of Dawn completely doing it in, maybe even ending the old-fashioned way, and taking out the Shrine. I really wonder how many games. It's probably very few games have actually been ended by the Shrine or the World Tree dying. We had a couple yesterday, though, to be fair. There was a couple of base races. That was pretty crazy. Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, in this stage of the game, I don't know, like, I would just concede. Like, to me, like, especially if you're playing on Honkost, like, I wouldn't want to be sort of being absolutely dominated on like a platform or media platform, because it just sort of says, oh yeah, we suck. But that's my opinion. Like, obviously it's their opinion or their decision to sort of stay on, but it's the same obviously in like middle lane.
I was going to say, I mean, to be fair, though, too, they don't have all the stats in front of them. For all we know, in their mind, they may feel like kind of, okay, we actually are still have somewhat of a chance. They are down 2 sets of racks, but, in the end, you know, they have every right to stay in with that said. So
oh, yeah, definitely.
That's the way I would look at it.
If it was me, I would be like, try and get out of this game as quick as possible.
Yeah, with the rage quit method, or just screw this, just leave.
Get me out of this game.
That'd be me, too, not going to lie. You see, Swift Blade has a freaking Dancing Blade now. Going to be getting a full wing bow here, because why not? Again, we're at that state. I'm sure Willow Keepers were watching this pretty closely. Again, Willow Keeper versus Dawn. Again, like I said, I believe we may try to cast Reason versus Rexars, but Willow Keeper versus Dawn also going to be a very good series there by a middle lane Madman. Going to get the 1 kill. Yes, he can, and now he's going to go for the second. Energy Field comes out, but he doesn't care. He just chases him down anyways. Picks up the double tap in the process. And the rest of the Hellborn team will just simply run away. So here comes that top tower push now. And trying to really finish the job. You see Magmus off to the side. He's going to try to be sneaky. Gamma Lowstill's not going to let him do so. And the Impalement as well as Swiftblade auto attacks just ticking down the tower damage. And now the melee racks. We're going to see Mega Creeps here most likely. And that's really the game ender, if it wasn't already. We see it jumping, coming out from the Hellborn side, but Swiftblade locking down Silhouette. Is that the real Silhouette? No, that's a fake one, right? Yeah. Okay, that was a fake one. Yes, yeah. But Keeper of the Forest will fall in the background. And there we go. Mega Creep's going to be coming out. Magnus giving it the last effort once again, but it doesn't even matter. There we go. GG's being called.
Oh, now it's time to concede.
Now it's time to concede.
Oh, now it's definitely over.
Don't let them kill the Sacrificial Shrine, though. Just concede right before that, at least. No, but yeah, game 3, though, will go to Dawn, and obviously that means that once again, they are officially going to be moving on here in this series.
Congrats. And that's one correct decision I've already made out of my draft or my little predictions. So, I mean, just all we need now is Zing to beat BMG, and it'll be fun.
Oh, gosh. That again. First off, that's only the winner bracket finals, to be fair.
Yeah, it's fun,
right?
but that one game advantage is all Zing needs.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. But yeah, so that is going to do it for game number 3 right here. Of course, Dawn one more time taking it 2-1 over Shrek is Love. And just to keep reiterating, that means they are going to be moving on to the following round here. So I believe we had plenty of time there to kind of wrap things up as far as that series is concerned. We are going to be going on a short break, though, here, but my guess is we'll probably be jumping into a match pretty quickly here as far as our next one. Again, I believe we do plan to cast Reason Gaming versus Rexar. So, and with that said, especially if we cover that matchup, that will give us a chance to actually cover every single team here in cycle number 1, at least a little bit of exposure. So that's pretty cool to think about as well. But yeah, Reason